last step of the capital budgeting process. And that's going to be what's called a what-if analysis. So we've got our basic spreadsheet set up. I'm going to make a quick adjustment. This is my demand balance one. We're going to create a tab here called base cap, and it's going to be equal to the initial capital expenditure that you were given. And then we're going to adjust this equation so that instead of referring back to the CapEx sheet, we're just going to refer to this base capital number. So you can take a look at our number here and be good to go, or the equation. All right, so having done this a number of times, it's important that you set your spreadsheet up to allow for GoalSeek to work functionally. And these spreadsheets have, in fact, been set up that way. And in the write-up for this particular project, you're going to be given several questions that you're going to need to answer for CapEx base, the capacity balance, capital expenditure budget, and the demand balance, capital expenditure budget. And this is typical, right? So I'm just going to go give you a typical example. What if analysis, we're going to go to GoalSeek. And your boss comes up to you and he says, well, I've reviewed, I see that we're breaking even in year 7. The company says we have to break even in year 5 no matter what. So what kind of price change do I need to do in order to get a 0 NPV in year 5? So we're going to use the GoalSeek, and we want to set year 5. We're going to answer the question. We want to set year 5 equal to 0, and we're going to do that by changing the price. And what it says is we set the price to $6.99, we'll end up with a 0 NPV in year 5. Okay. And then a second question that I just hit undo, so I went back to my original data sheet. I'll go ahead and save here real quick too. Another question I'll ask, and this is where GoalSeek comes in handy. Again, I want to set cell NPV to 0 in year 5 by changing the number of units. All right. So the first question are 2 questions to the sales department. First, can we increase the price to $6.99? Second, can we increase the number of units? Can you increase your sales to 503,000? So these are 2 basic questions that managers, CEOs of companies would like to ask the people, their finance staff that are working on the capital budgeting. Next question that is oftentimes come up, again, what if, GoalSeek. We want to set the NPV, and I'm just picking the NPV equal to 0. And we want to do it by changing the initial capital that we need. So this is a question of, hey, we need an NPV in year 5 of 0. Can we look at the capital? And that says we need to spend $410,000. That will give us an NPV in year 0. So the first 2 questions you send off to your sales department. This question goes off to your engineering and your purchasing group to see if you can cut some of this cash out of the budgeting requirements. Can we make the building a little smaller? Can we put it in a location that's cheaper? So we can pick an industrial park that's almost full and therefore kind of expensive to buy into, or we can build in a green field that's, there's nothing there, not a problem, or we can go and buy somebody else's building so that the construction is already there and just modify it to our desires, and that may reduce the capital requirement. I'm going to hit undo again to go back to my original. And then the last thing that might come up is, from a management standpoint, is there something we can do with the SG&A? In other words, can be more efficient managers of the overall process. So again, it's just a what-if analysis. GoalSeek, we want to set cell NPV to 0, in year 5, and we're going to do it by changing the SG&A. And that says your SG&A has got to go down to 12.83%. And there are, multiple combinations that can be done, and that takes us back to like the scenario analysis that we did earlier in the lab, where you would set up different scenarios to give additional management boundary conditions to try and improve the overall project. Remember, you're trying to maximize the NPV. These are the parameters that you're given, but that doesn't mean that they're set in stone. So that's why this what-if analysis and the way you set up your spreadsheet becomes really important. So here in just a few seconds, I've answered a bunch of different questions using the what-if analysis. Typically, you'll have this, you'll run it, you'll copy off, you'll have a table already started, you'll copy off the new data into the table, and you'll go back and run another what-if analysis. And again, it'll be specified in the write-up for this particular project. But you'll do it for the base, the CapEx, and the demand balanced one. A typical problem here is on the demand balance. We've come up with a nice clean price of $8.92 and a $2 million NPV of the project. The market may not be able to take, for example, the market right now, if we start, it may be happy with $8.92 as a price. But our competitors might say, well, let's charge $8.90. And now we get into a competitive bidding war on our price until our margins come down and the NPV of the project decreases. So another simple question, again, using the what-if analysis and the goal seek. We want to set NPV in year 5 equal to 0. By changing the price cell. And this says that the minimum price that I can charge is $6.92. So this gives you boundary conditions. Yeah, my sale price is $8.92. My basic price is $8.92. But if someone who wants to buy some extra from me or place a big order, it gives me some room, some fluctuation in terms of the pricing, so that I'm still profitable and able to take care of my customers well. So anyway, just want to share that to you. It's really powerful, along with this demand maximization. It's a really powerful tool to answer lots of questions really quickly, as long as your spreadsheets are set up correctly. All right, well, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed your capital budgeting lab assignment, and hopefully everything is going well. And when we come back in the next project, we're going to be working with a Monte Carlo simulation of our demand balanced NPV project. Thank you very much. Goodbye.